Wow, what is this out of this world piece? Well, it doesn't matter. Let's cast this into resin and turn it into a vase. Welcome back to my channel. My name is David and today we will be turning a banksia nut. And if you don't know what is a banksia nut, don't worry, I just googled it, so I have the most accurate description you can ever find. So banksia nuts are a fruit of a small tree that grows in the remote deserts of Western Australia. These are commonly used for ornamental purposes in wood turning. Can't believe Google was right again. Here we are, I'm using this for wood turning. All jokes aside, I absolutely love banksia because they look so unique. But unfortunately, sometimes it's rather difficult to buy them in the UK. There are a number of different exotic wood suppliers here in the UK who then imports wood from all over the world, including banksia nuts as well. But unfortunately, they were all out of stock. But then I come across with this piece on eBay, which is pretty much a vase already. But what I thought, I'm gonna give my own little spin and I will be casting this into a resin and turn it into a hybrid project. So I used my Depot Vista epoxy resin and after a few days it was ready to mount on my lathes. And as always, I'm using my quick 5 minutes epoxy resin, a gentle glue, wait for another 1 day, and we are finally ready to turn this into a vase. And I know this week's video probably will be more on the simple side. It was a fairly quick project to produce, but I have one very good reason. Over the past few weeks I have been working on one big project which has taken absolute ages, but finally I'm in the last few steps to finish this project and it will be ready next week, Sunday. That project took over 100 working hours and probably exceeding around £3,500 or nearly $4,000 worth of materials and labor. So I'm really excited to share this with you. One more week and it will be revealed. But coming back to this week's project video, I started to shape the outside using my negative rake, scrape a bit, and luckily my container was pretty much the right size for this vase, so I don't have to waste too much resin and also to turn too much resin away, so kind of a win-win. So my plan with this project was really just to cut this into resin. I will follow very similar shape as it was originally. Obviously the actual banksia nut was rather small, so I can't really experience with different shapes, so I will follow very similar shapes, and obviously we will have the great addition, the resin will be green and eventually we will be send it to a nice high grit. And here I'm just doing the finishing touches using my negative rake scraper, again removing some of the tool marks left after the carbide bit. And on to the finishing step, marking out where the bottom of the vase will be. I like to do this because when I do the sanding I can nicely run the bottom edge as well, so when I remove this from the lights I will have a nice rounded bottom edge rather than having a sharp edge which requires further sanding. And as you can see, banksia nut is a rather porous material, so I will be using some sanding sealer. This will slightly penetrate into the wood and also will fill some of the smaller gaps, and after with some sanding, hopefully we will have a nice smooth surface. Once the vase is fully covered, I will let this to cure for a good 20 minutes, 30 minutes, then I will come back, sand again, and I will repeat this until I see the surface is smooth. In this case it was 4 layers, and after I was ready to move on to some higher grit sanding, including some wet sanding. And wet sanding works brilliantly when you are in a higher grits like 800s or 1000s. It just keeps the resin cool as a cucumber and won't let the resin to soften up because of the heat. Then on to using some Yorkshire grit in preparation for the nice high gloss finish. And while people say Yorkshire grit is not for finishing, it is a mixture of lemon oil and beeswax and mineral oil, so in this case I will be using this for my finishing oil as well before it goes on to bathing. Just marking out the center point in preparation for drilling the hole for my branding coin. To achieve nice high gloss finish, I will be using my 3-stage buffing wheel. This will remove all the fine marks left after the 3000 sanding paper and really bring out the shine once you reach the final stage. Hopefully you enjoyed this week's quick project video, and as I said at the beginning, it was a quick one because I have been busy building my biggest, my most expensive, my most time-consuming project I have ever done in my life, and it will be live next week Sunday 1 PM British time on my YouTube channel. Thank you for watching and see you back.